Now this question says, on the grid, draw the graph of y equal to 3x plus 4. Now, this is the grid, and this will bring us to a topic I titled Graph of Linear Functions. Okay? Now, graphs of linear functions. Linear functions are basically straight line graphs. Whenever you see a graph of linear function, for example, y equal to 3x plus 4, okay, once the degree of x is 1, okay, once it's not more than 1, you know that is a graph of linear function, and you just know that it's a straight line graph straight away. Okay, but if it's 2, 3 and all that, if it's 2 is quadratic, if it's 3 is, I don't know, maybe all those more complex ones, cubic functions and all that. Now for linear function, this is the one we're actually facing right now. You know that it's a straight line graph at all times. Now the basic straight line graph formula is y equal to mx plus c. Now m is the gradient of the line, while c is the intercept on y-axis. Okay, that's where it touches the y-axis. Now this is basically the whole formula for straight line graph. Now for a straight line graph, you know that is already a straight line graph. Most times people just plot the first point and then the last point, and then they join the 2 points to make a straight line graph. No, always knowing that no matter what the other points they plot, it will always be on a straight line. Now let's do that on the grid. From an already prepared table of values, when x is minus 2, y will be minus 2. So we'll come down. This is minus 2 and minus 2. This is where they meet. Okay. Now when x is 1, y will be 7. When x is 1, y will be 7. This is where it meets. When x is 2, y will be 10. You even agree with me that even for 3 plots, is actually not needed, because for the first 2 that I actually plotted, you could have just put your ruler and drawn it, so it will save your time. Okay, now let's draw it. Let's join it first. Now the ruler did a little bit of shaking. Now even after joining it, if you check other points on the line, when x is minus 1, y is 1, when x is minus 1, y is 1, is exactly on the point. When x is 0, y is 4. When x is 0, y is 4, is exactly on the point. When x is 1, y is 7, is on that point. So everything, the most important thing is just maybe making the first 2 ends. Once they are correct, okay, you draw your line. Then you could also use the line and start checking the other points. Now for gradient, if you are given a line like this and you are asked to find the gradient, okay, or the m value. Now the m value is all about making a triangle, okay, making a triangle that touches the line. Let's say we use this other this triangle. Okay, let's use this one. Okay, let's use this one. This should do, because this one actually touches y-axis about 5.5. okay, now you normally calculate m by saying y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1, or change in y over change in x. You could virtually pick any 2 points you want. If you wanted to pick this point, okay, and this point, in fact it would have even been better to pick this bigger line now, but it doesn't really matter. If you wanted to pick this point and this point and make this your triangle, it doesn't still matter. But since we've already selected this, let's make use of this. Now since this is an increasing line, okay, this value will be our y1, and this value will be our y2. This is increasing, but if it were decreasing, a decreasing line, a line that was coming this way, okay, when we do something like this, this value will be our, it's coming down, okay, this value will be our y2 and this will be our y1, but this one is increasing, so let's make use of this. This is our y2, this is our y1. Now this point is our x2 and this point is our x1, okay. In other words, this point now is 5.5. now this point now on the y-axis is 1 and on the x-axis is 1, okay, it's 1 1, okay. I'm actually making use of, okay, that's this one. This point is 1 and 1. Now this point is -1 and 1 on the y-axis, okay. Now when you're doing y2 minus y1, y2, the mark for y2 is 5.5 minus y1 is actually 1 all over x2 here. x2 here is 0.5, please. From the calibration, this is 0 and this is 1, so in between is 0.5. So x2 is going to be 0.5 minus x1 is -1, okay. Now you're going to have 5.5 minus 1 is 4.5 divided by 0.5 plus 1, okay, which is going to be 4.5 divided by 1.5. Now using our calculator, you have 4.5 divided by 1.5 and you have your m to be 3, okay. Now many times you're asked to just plot the graph and then calculate the gradient. Gradient is the m. Now for you to calculate the gradient, this is how you do it, okay. Now if you're asked to find the c, the intercept, that's the point at which it touches the y-axis, you come and check the line. This is the point where it touched the y-axis and that's 4. That's how you get your 4. Now this is all you need to know about straight line graphs and how to work on it.